Great. Lovely. So on this sunny day, shall we just have a moment to tune into ourselves, into what's here for us? So beginning by either lying or sitting or standing if you wish. And before you come into stillness, have a really good long stretch. Oh, and notice how it feels, pushing the heels, bringing the toes up towards you. Feeling into the spine, just noticing what's here. Maybe moving the shoulders, opening the hips out, pushing one way and the other, and sensing into the body and how it's feeling this morning. And then when you're ready, coming into a posture that feels comfortable for you. So it might be with the knees bent and just feeling the spine connecting with the floor. If your knees are bent, you might want to put them together and just splay the feet out to the sides. Or extending the legs away and really noticing how you feel in your lower back, and just have a little play around with it and see if you can separate the feet out a little bit further, flopping them out to the sides. And there might be a little bit of a pull in the lower back, and that's okay if it settles down. Just an opening of the sacroiliac joints, stretching of all the muscles around. Finding myself taking some long deep breaths in and out. So you're doing the same if that feels right for you. So the legs, the feet, the hips, the lower back, the spine, just feeling into them, noticing where they connect into the earth, aware of the shoulders, the arms down by the sides. And if you feel like taking the shoulders away from the ears, one at a time maybe. Turn the palms up to the ceiling. And if you haven't already done so, you might want to bring your chin down to the chest a little more, or place a cushion underneath the back of the head. And bringing your attention to the breath. And every time you breathe out, feeling that you're letting go just a little bit more deeply. Noticing the softness of the face. If you're holding on to any tension here, allow it to just melt away, down through the head to the floor and away. It might be that as you lie here, you can hear some birds or some other sounds, allowing your sense of hearing to anchor you in this moment, listening out to what's all around you. And bringing that hearing focus to your body. Can you hear yourself breathing? Are you able to hear your heart beating? Just noticing this. Sometimes as we deepen the breath in and out, your bones actually start to move and shift, and there can be some noises here too. Little release of bubbles. Allowing the body to feel really heavy and supported. connecting in with what's here for you. Aware of the length of the in-breath and the length of the out-breath, and you may wish to extend this, balance it out so that the in-breath equals the out-breath and the out-breath equals the in-breath. And then just inviting you to bring the palms of your hands together and place your thumbs sort of around the heart center, just resting your hands if they're in prayer, just feeling the connection with the heart. And then taking a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, take the right hand up and the left hand down, and really have a sense of opening up the heart space. As you breathe back in, bring the hands back together again, just very gently touching as you go the other way. Right arm down, left arm up, pushing the heels of the hands away. It might be that you start to notice that your chest rises a little bit as you do this, and particularly if you've got your legs extended, you may well feel the lower back start to curve up a little bit, sensing into that opening sensation through the front of the body and the movement that creates in your body. Sorry, I haven't changed the phone. Just doing that evenly to both sides, and then bringing your hands back into the center, just holding the thumbs in position. Once more, feeling into the palms of the hands, the breath in this part of the body, and as you breathe in, feeling the expansion through the chest and the upper back. And as you breathe out, softening down. And then taking the arms down by your sides, palms facing down to the floor. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, pressing into the elbows, into the forearms, and bringing the chest and the abdomen up to the ceiling, lifting the spine up off the floor. And then as you breathe in, release and reconnect the spine down with the ground. So just pressing up and opening through the front of the body. And as you breathe in, just bringing it back down. You may well wish to press down into your heels to create that feeling of extension, of opening the heart up to the sky, that sunny sky. Just doing that a few times, mobilizing. Noticing how that feels in the spine. And then very gently bringing that movement to a close, bend through the knees. Just drawing in through the belly button to the base of the spine as you reconnect the spine fully with the ground. Taking the cushion away if you've got that behind the back of the head. Breathing in and breathing out, slowly and gently drawing the knees down to the chest. Breathing in, going away from you, and breathing out, coming back down. Just nice and gentle. And then we're going to just keep the hands on top of the knees and let one knee go away from you and the other one come down to the chest, and then vice versa. So we're just going into that sort of movement as if you're cycling a little. And as you do that, every time you draw the knee down, just taking it out a little bit more to the side so that you can start to feel there's an opening there. Both hands may be staying on the knees. We've just done a diagonal stretch in the upper back, and we're just opening, just working a little bit more with the lower back and the hips. And then as you do that, bringing the knees sort of together and then out, and then together and then out. So we're doing just as we did with the hands, reconnecting in the center, noticing how that feels in the hips. Nice. And then next time you take one knee up, hold it there, and then bring the other knee up as well. Take the hands down to the feet or wherever you can get to. Bring the soles of the feet together and the knees go right out to the side now. So let's just stay with this for a little while so that you bring your soles in together. If you can't get hold of your feet and keep your head on the floor, then you might want to pop a strap around your feet. And every time you breathe out, just press those knees out a little bit further so that you're creating space, not only in the inner thighs, which I'm sure you'll feel, but there's an opening through the hips, the lower back. Just drawing down. Keep the chin tucked in. Nice deep breaths. Contracting through the core on the exhale. So that really helps to bring the feet in a little bit more. Good, and then getting hold of the toes, the big toes. If you can, take a breath in, breathing out. Just take the legs up into extension, opening into the back of the knees, splaying the legs out as much as you wish, and breathe. Release through the shoulders. From there, we're going to cross the legs, so right over left. Bend the knees again, hold on to the ankles. Nice perky feet. Flex the feet and have a good stretch. So you should feel it in your right buttock. Oh. If you're anything like me and you've started doing a lot of gardening, then this is a good stretch. And then easing out, change over to the other side, holding onto the ankles. You might find this side is easier or more difficult. Just checking in with that. Good. And then gently releasing, place the feet back down on the floor. Oh, just have a couple of good breaths in and out. And then a long stretch, taking both arms up, both heels away. And then we're going to go into a diagonal stretch from here. So take a breath in, breathing out, reaching up with the right arm, the left foot going away, crossing the body, and then repeating on the other side. Doing that in your own time, following your own breath, feeling into the sensations of stretch and opening. Always feel it in the waist. Do this stretch. Notice if that's there for you or somewhere else, maybe the shoulders or whatever. Nice. Lovely. And then gently and slowly, let's just bend the knees, roll over onto the side. Just have a little pause. And we're going to come up to cat. So coming into a nice square cat posture, where the hands are below the wrists, the shoulders, I say that every time, and the knees are below the hips. Separating the fingers wide, really planting them down on the floor, and then just finding the flat back, that tabletop back, whereby you have some little bit of tone in the core and the belly, so that you're not sort of just dropping down. The head is, your face is looking down, but the head is lifted so that it's aligned with the spine. And then take a breath in. As you breathe out, drawing in through the pelvic floor, the belly button coming to the base of the spine, slowly, slowly working up with awareness through the spine. And at the end, tuck the tail and the chin down, and then softening, releasing, lifting the head. Bringing some gentleness, some softness into the elbows so that you're not sort of rigid here, and there's a feeling of movement through the knees, the elbows, as well as the whole of the spine. Noticing how it feels to allow that flow. And as there's a sense of physical flow, perhaps too you can feel an energetic flow. As we release into the spine, it allows the energies to move much more freely around the system, in the body, outside the body. And beginning to move maybe a little bit more now, and dipping the head down, rounding the back, just coming back with your bottom towards the heels. Noticing how that feels in the shoulders. You might hear a little bit more sounds coming from your body as you start to mobilize into the shoulders, the upper back, the neck, a little bit more maybe through the wrists and the elbows. Of course, a modification for cat, if you have sore wrists and sore elbows, so you can just take your hands on your thighs and just be mobilizing into the back, rounding the shoulders. The exhale, and on the inhale, really extending through the spine. And then coming back into neutral. Just easing yourself back into that stable position. And we're going to go into some diagonal stretches from here. So taking the body weight to the left hand and the right knee, extend the left leg and the right arm away. So extending them to a point where you feel that it's even with your spine. That's it. Just holding that. So the leg comes up, straight leg comes up. Holding that, looking down at the floor. Core is nice and strong, so you're working into your core in this posture. Keep breathing. And then changing over to the other side. You can have a little play around with pointing and flexing the foot. Notice how that creates a different sensation. Just being aware of connecting through the core as well, and how that brings stability, sense of toning. Good. Bringing it back down, and then we're going to take the body weight over to the right hand and the right knee, and try, if you can, to keep your pelvis as square as you possibly can to the floor, so you're not sort of tipping over onto your side as you extend the left hand away as well, the left arm away. So the left arm, left leg straight out. Good. Nice. And it's hard to keep your pelvis kind of facing down. It wants to tip up. So you really have to utilize your core muscles and have a real strong sense of extending. So extending through the tips of the fingers, the toes. Nice, and then changing over to the other side. It's hard, isn't it? It actually takes quite a lot of concentration. And I like to extend the leg away first. So you might want to try that. Extend the right leg away first, and then peel the right hand up off the floor. And then you can start to really feel like you're lifting the arm, lifting the leg, drawing in through the core. Keep breathing, that grounding breath. Nice. And gently and slowly down, both hands on the floor, on the mat, and ease back into extended child. Having a good long stretch. Feeling the breath in the spine. Perfect. And then we're going to come up to kneeling. So looking after your knees. If it's too hard for you to come down with your bottom onto your heels, then you can get yourself a block or a cushion. Bring yourself right up. Whatever feels comfortable for you. I haven't really got any problems with my knees, but I just feel like by putting a block there, I feel a lot more upright. So I just naturally do it anyhow. So it is useful just to have a little play around with that sometimes. Even if you don't have a problem, it just gives me a sense of upliftment and an extension, which is really helpful. So once you're there, having a roll of the shoulders, easing through. And that's it, Louisa. That looks good. Let's see if that helps. Nice. Good. So as we did when we were lying down, we're just going to take our hands into prayer. Take a breath in And breathing out. Right arm comes up, left hand comes down. And you can just take yourself over to the side a little bit as well as you do this. So you might go into a little bit of a side flexion, the head comes down. Noticing what that feels like. Extending away. Just going from side to side, and then you can start to go into a little bit more of a twist. So as you take your arm up, turning to look at that hand and going into a bit of a twist. So feeling the spine easing around. That really beautiful sense of opening, mobilizing into the spine. Good. And then gently bring it back to the center. Have a pause for a little while. A couple of breaths in and out with awareness. And then gently down. We're going to open up into the chest a little bit more. So obviously you really do need to look after your knees and just do what you can. But I've taken the block away for this little bit. But we're going to just start by easing ourselves back. So it might be that you bring your fingertips onto the floor. Or it might be, if you've got a couple of blocks, that you put one down on one side and obviously one on the other. But if you're sitting on a block, take that away from you, because that's going to cause problems. And you can only go back as far as you can go. So just wherever you are in this, what we're trying to do is draw the shoulder blades together and have a real sense of opening into the front of the chest. So just noticing as you do that, how that feels, and you're pressing the pelvis up so that you're going into a bit of a back bend. Your head might come back a little. And as you breathe in, feel that breath going right down into your belly. And as you start to lengthen through the front of your body, might come down to your elbows. Just working with whatever's here for you in your body this morning. If you feel up to it, you might want to go into a flat back on the floor. I'm just seeing if anybody of you are going to do that. You might want to separate your knees out a little bit and go into a flat back. Coming into maybe an arch through your spine. Just wherever you are, having a sense of opening up through the front of your chest. Good. And then ease yourself up and forward into child. Beautiful. And then slowly we're going to come up into standing. So let's transition through a squat. Feet underneath. Coming up into a little bit of a balancing posture. You might just be on your toes, drawing through the core. Nice upright. Feeling through the spine, through the top of the head. Take a breath in as you breathe out, coming up to standing. Lovely. Nice. So when you come up to standing, easing yourself into a posture that helps you to feel really balanced. So coming into mountain, that grounding place of equanimity. So as you adopt your mountain posture, it's always really helpful to check in with what's here. So I can feel that for myself that I'm going down through the left side a little bit more than the right for whatever reason. So there's a little bit of a shift of position that helps me to feel, yeah, now the whole of the body weight is going equally down through the legs. And as I do that, I feel my shoulders realign as well. So it's not about just getting into a posture so it looks good sort of externally. It's feeling into what your body is doing this morning. Also checking in with the back. If you feel like your belly's coming forwards, you may wish to just tilt it a little bit so that the tailbone is going down towards the floor, to the ground. And then lengthening as best you can through the spine, lifting up into the space above you, the top of the head, the shoulders relaxed. And just notice your arms, how they're feeling, how they're hanging, whether they're even, whether the hands are landing in the same place on either side of the body, or one's a bit longer than the other. And being curious about this. It might be you've got one arm longer than the other, and that's okay. But maybe it's to do with the alignment of the shoulders or something else. So just being with that. And then we're going to soften through the knees, both hands on the legs, just keeping the feet where they are. Take a breath in, and then gently with the right hand coming down and the left arm coming up a little, just going down to the knee. And then reversing that, sliding one hand up and the other hand down. And every time you take your hand down, see if you can just take it a little bit more, and the other arm up a little bit more. And notice what your body does in order to do this movement. You might go into a little bit of a twist. Just sliding the hands up and down. Just gently, maybe twisting, elbow coming up, turning the head. Just to enable that hand to come up over the rib cage, maybe up into the armpit. Down a little bit further each time. And then when you feel you're taking your left hand down as far as you possibly can, just hold it there. If you've got to the toes, you might want to link the fingers under the toes, and then take the right hand up and turn to look at it. Feeling that opening through the chest, the twist in the thoracic spine. And then gently let that arm come down, back on the top of your thigh, the other hand to travel back up. And we repeat on the other side. So the right hand comes down as far as it can go. If you can get to the floor, then hooking it under your toes. The left arm comes up, and turn to have a look at the left hand. Just going into a twist. Nice, Karen. Keep breathing, feeling the opening through the front of the body, the upper back, the shoulders. The involvement of the breath. That nourishing, replenishing breath. And then gently easing yourself back down, and then uncurling both hands, just coming up on the thighs, the legs, and have a roll, shoulders, once you get there. And a nice steak. Just to open into the hips a little, let the shoulders go. Okay, so we're just going to take ourselves to the end of the mat and make sure you've got space next to you. I haven't quite, because we're going to take the arms out to the sides. So we'll first of all start with the hands in prayer, drawing in through the core, standing nice and tall. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just rocking back and forth, stepping forwards with the left and then coming back. So a gentle rocking movement, feeling like your chest is coming through the shoulders. If this is too strong on your shoulders, you can take your arms down, just down by the sides. It's a nice modification, but just having a sense of the shoulders coming back and your chest coming forwards. And then let's start to extend that step. So just slowly, we're getting bigger each time we step forwards. And as you step forward, see if you can really squeeze those arms back, the shoulders back. And then the next time we're going to do the biggest step you possibly can and hold it there. So the back leg straightens. So you take that back leg and open into the back of the knee. So you come as straight as you can and then bending through the front. Oh, a lovely stretch on your hamstrings. Drawing in through the core. So there's a real sense of feeling connected and grounded. Push through the heels of the hands and then circling around. Really bringing those fingers towards you and then back the other way with the circles. And noticing as you're being aware of the shoulders, whether you've lost the connection through the core, drawing your tummy button back in again, extending up, opening through the waist. And then we're going to just bring the elbows and the hands in together and then out. So the elbows are bent at shoulder height if you can do it. If not, modify it as you can. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Keeping that back leg extended. And then take the arms out to the sides. And we're going to turn the hands, rotating the shoulders. Whoa. Nice noise coming from my shoulders this morning. So just listening to what's there for you and see if you can increase that range through as the hands come down, the shoulders come forwards and you lift them up towards your ears, and then as your hands come back, you engage the shoulder blades and go away from your ears. So take your time on each range of movement and see if you can just increase it a little bit more each time. Good. We're going to take the hands behind, come into prayer with the hands, or if you can't bring your hands together, just holding onto the wrists, wriggle your palms or your hands up as high up your back as you possibly can. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, draw through the core, just hinging down through the hips, easing yourself down into your thigh. The back leg is straight, the front knee is bent. Feel the shoulders coming back, opening through the heart center. And then the left hand comes to the outer edge of the left foot. The right arm comes up to the ceiling. And you can turn the body to slowly, slowly start to look up at the right hand. Just see if you've got your arms in alignment. And then take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you can straighten that left leg at the front. As much as you can, while still turning to look at the right hand. That's it, Lisa. Get back down into it. Lovely, well done. Keep breathing, everybody. Keep turning, feeling the twist. Nice. And then slowly easing yourself back. If your leg is straight, bend the knee, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, really pushing into the foot and ease yourself back. Standing. Ah, that was a nice little routine. I'm going to come to this side. No, I can still see you. So when you're standing there, just close your eyes. Notice how the body feels now. Just being aware of what's here for you. Maybe a little bit of a twisting feeling. Something in the shoulders. Bring the hands into prayer, making sure you've got room on the side to do exactly the same again with your right leg this time. So we're going to just gently step forwards and back. This hip may feel different, so allowing for that. Taking it further each time. Extending the arms away and really paying attention to that. The feeling of the heart coming through the shoulders as you squeeze those shoulder blades together. A beautiful range of movements. And then next time you step forward with the right, taking it as far as you can. Push the hands away. And then paying attention to that back leg, really opening into the back of the knee so that the leg is nice and long. And then bending through the front knee so that the knee is above the ankle. Push the heels of the hands away. And then circling. Remember, you can modify this in whichever way you wish to. You can take it really soft and do some gentle circles. You can take your arms down and just roll the shoulders. Please just modify it, change it, look after yourself. Back the other way with the hands rotating. Good. And then bending the elbows, just bringing the hands in and out. Good. So there's an opening through the back as the elbows come together, and then a squeezing of the shoulders together and the chest coming forwards. drawing in through the core, and then holding the elbows at shoulder height, and we're going to rotate. So this is a strong movement, and you'll really notice the difference between one shoulder and the other as you go through this. And see if you can, like last time, really take it to the end of range so that you're drawing the shoulders forwards as the hands go down and back, and then engaging the muscles underneath the shoulder blades as the hands go back as far as they're able to. And you might find one arm goes back a lot further than the other. Well done. And then gently bring those hands round, the palms together, or your modification, whatever feels right. Keep the front knee bent, the back leg nice and straight, drawing in through the core. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, flexing down through the hip, as you ease yourself down towards or onto the thigh. Elbows coming back. Holding that posture. Feeling the breaths. And then slowly releasing, let the right hand come down to the outer edge of the right foot, the left arm coming up. Turning the body a little. To look at that left hand. Drawing in through the core. And then if it feels right for you, you can go into Trikonasana, straight leg. But keep that sense of turning and looking upwards. So that left hip is coming round and round and up towards the ceiling. Beautiful, long, deep breaths in and out. And then easing out of that, softening through the knee, both hands on the floor. Take a breath in, breathing out. Transition back to full standing, pressing down into the foot. Ease yourself back. Lovely. Have a good shake. And back into mountain. Close the eyes. Just noticing what's here for you. It may well be that you feel quite different to when you first went into mountain. So checking in with that. What are the differences? What's here for you today? Good. And then opening the eyes, just taking the feet a little bit further apart than hip distance. Are you going, Louisa? Yeah, thighs. So just a little bit more than hip distance apart. Hands down onto your outer thighs, just softening through the knees. There's no need to keep the knees straight. And we're just going to very gently ease from side to side. So one hand slides down, the other one comes up. And then going the other way. Just let the head just flow as it wishes. And there's no strain here. What I would like you to pay attention to is your core and how it activates at all stages, so that it helps you to stay stable to ease down a little bit more each time you go. So maybe just really slowing this movement down so that as you go over to the side, you can stretch out, but you can also really feel the core contracting. And then the other side when you're ready. And maybe just have a little play around with it. And when you feel like you've got to, as far as you can go, take a breath in and breathe out and see if you can go just a little bit further. It's so good to notice what blocks us, what stops us. And then the breath can just help you to experiment. Let's go a little bit more. Nice. And then when you've done that evenly to both sides, just coming back up again. And roll the shoulders. So coming to the center of the mat. And we're going to just do some more mobilization of the shoulders. I'm going to invite you to just look at your hand all the time that we're doing this, and just keep your attention on one of your hands. So we're going to keep the attention on your right hand to begin with. So just starting by looking down towards the right palm. As you breathe in, let that right palm come up to the ceiling. Reaching up to the ceiling. Again, you can do this as softly or strongly as you wish, turning to look as the hand comes back down. So it might be that you choose to do this in a really soft flowing movement, which is a beautiful thing to do, or you might want to go a bit stronger and feel like you're reaching out. And allowing the movement to flow with your breath so that as the hand comes up, you're breathing in. And as you turn the hand away, you're still watching the back of the hand as you exhale. And then there's an invitation to stay with that movement, but to start to bring the other hand, the other arm into movement. So it might be that you take it up and back behind you, or it might be that it wants to do something else entirely, which is perfectly fine. Notice if there's a speeding up or a slowing down, but the focus is still on the right hand. Let the left arm do its thing. No expectation, no right or wrong, good or bad. And then making this next rotation your last. Let the arm float down. Just coming back into mountain, and notice how you feel, particularly in the shoulders and the arms. Maybe place the hands on the thighs and see if you can feel whether one arm is longer than the other. Both arms have been moving, but you might feel a lengthening through the arm or a dropping of the shoulder or something else. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So bringing your attention to your left hand, looking down at it to begin with. On the next in-breath, lifting it up, either reaching for the ceiling or just letting it float. It's entirely up to you. And turning to look at the hand. Feeling that lovely, gentle, natural twist of the body. We're not forcing anything. And then letting the right arm become involved in whatever way it wishes to. So there's no expectations here. The focus is still on the left. In breath, out breath. Movement in whichever way feels right for your body. Next rotation is the last. Just let that arm come down. Bring yourself back into mountain once more. Beautiful deep breaths in and out. Feeling the shoulders, the arms, the spine. And then placing the right hand on the chest and the left hand on top. Aware of the breath in your chest. And tuning into what do you need, what posture you need to be in as a restful, relaxing posture. And then whenever you're ready, taking yourself into that posture. So you might be lying or sitting, legs on a sofa, or lying fully on the sofa. Just coming down into a place of comfort, of nurture, relaxation. And I chose this relaxation, this visualization, because my garden on the Blackdown Hills is full of roses, which are rose buds, and they're just about to all open to bloom. And I always love it when that happens. So this relaxation is called the rose. So allowing yourself to become more relaxed, maybe feeling through the body, those warm parts of the body. We've moved, stretched, opened. Maybe there's a sense of more energy flowing through the body as we mobilize the spine. And knowing that you have this opportunity to drift into relaxation. And the body feels warm and comfortable. And you feel safe and secure. And take the attention to the breath. And be aware of the slowing down of the breathing. Now take the attention to the chest, to the heart center. And be aware of your heart center, your heart space. As you breathe in and breathe out. Feel the expansion, the widening, the opening. And in that opening, you have created space, room to breathe, room to visualize, to release and let go. And visualize in front of you 3 long stemmed red roses. Each stem is long and graceful. The leaves are bright green. The thorns are sharp, and the rose is tightly closed. As you look at this rose, you are aware of the tightness of the bud. How all the petals tightly fold around each other perfectly. No creases or folds. Just perfectly folded around each other. Be aware of tiny droplets of dew clinging to the petals. The colour, the softness of the bud. And now imagine those buds slowly opening. How the petals unfold. Be aware of the deep colour red, of the slight perfume, the delicacy. As the rose fully opens, you marvel at the changing colour, the different hues of red, the perfect shape, the strong, heady perfume. Look deep into the centre of this rose. Look at the size, how the petals have spread, how the flower has widened. Be aware of the perfection in each of the 3 roses. Now visualize these roses folding back into themselves, becoming once again the perfect bud. See these 3 long red-stemmed roses clearly. And if you feel you would like to give someone one of these roses, consciously bring into your mind that person and visualize them holding the rose. Noticing how they respond to your gift of this long-stemmed red rose. And how that feels to you emotionally. Sense of heart to heart. Maybe gratitude or kindness carried on the gesture. A sense of love, connection, warmth. And holding that moment in your mind's eye, in your heart. And then allowing that visualization to softly fade, but perhaps maintaining the felt sense in your heart center as we gently and slowly start to come to the end of this visualization, this relaxation, and take some long, deep breaths, drawing in the prana, the life force, into your body. Having a wriggle of fingers and toes, stretch, a yawn. Take your time, there's no rush, no hurry. And then in your own time, easing yourself up to sitting. Deep breath in with the stretch. Separation of the fingers, the hands as you exhale. Palms together. Namaste. Thank you.